Okay, so kind of concentrating on the AC rule. And so I'm looking at it, and it's 20 times 6, which is 120. So what I need to do is I need to find two numbers that give me a product of 120. But when I add those two numbers together, I'm going to get minus 23. Now, granted, it does take effort to do this. Like, it isn't obvious to everyone what those two numbers are. You might have to play around with it. That's why I call this trial and error too. And I'm going to look at that, and I'm going to say it looks like it's 15 and 8, because 15 times 8 is 120. But it's actually minus 15 minus 8. And the reason being is minus 15 plus minus 8 is minus 23. Now, granted, that may take you time to get there, but once you get there, you're going to take that middle term and break it into two parts. What are the two parts? Well, one's going to have a coefficient of minus 15, the other one's coefficient of minus 8. So let's repeat that. This minus 23x is going to be broken into these two parts over here, minus 15ax and minus ax. The order does, oh, I notice I have an error over here. So I have to, certainly, you're not going to see this in your notes, by the way, but I made an error here. And what's the error? Well, it's not 15axx. One of those x's has to be taken out, all right? So what do? I factor it by grouping, and it's the same loop over and over again. What are you doing? Well, this is my first group over here. It's not a bad group to look at. What factors out from that? Well, looking at it, it would be 5ax, and you'd be left with 4ax minus 3. The last two members, what would factor out is minus 2, and you get 4ax minus 3. No shock there. And then you get 5ax minus 2. That's what remains. Now, over here, what would you get? Well, if you did the first two, what do you get? Well, 4ax comes out from that, and you're left off with 5ax minus 2. And the remaining two, after I delete that x, by the way, you'd factor out a minus 3. That's the last two, by the way. And you get 5ax minus 2. Factor that out, and what are you left off with? Well, when you factor this out, you're left off with 4ax minus 3. All right, can't say it enough times. No matter what you do, you're going to be getting the factors 4ax, 5ax minus 2. All right, let's go back up to the top and emphasize that for you. If you were using trial and error, eventually, and I'm going to say within 3 tries, you'd arrive at this. But it does demand that you actually try it to make sure it works. What would you get? 20a squared x squared minus 8ax minus 15ax plus 6. Again, I want to emphasize that these numbers are popping up, the minus 8, minus 15. All right? So what do you get over there? Well, minus 8 minus 15 is minus 23. Exactly what we expected. Things work out beautifully. And again, you decide how you want to do it. But I will correct the notes, though.